This is Autoline Daily, the show dedicated to enthusiasts of the global automotive industry. We start out today in the U.S., where it looks like almost half the states in the nation are suing the Trump administration, and it's all about fuel economy regulations. The Trump administration is still mandating tighter fuel economy regulations, requiring a 1.5% annual increase in fuel economy through 2026. The entire vehicle fleet has to hit an average of 40.4 miles per gallon. But that's weaker than the Obama administration standards, which called for a 5% annual increase and a fleet average of 46.7 miles per gallon. And now 23 states, some major cities in those states, and 12 environmental groups are suing the Trump administration, challenging its decision to roll back the Obama standards. Small automotive suppliers are facing a liquidity crisis, which means they just don't have enough cash on hand. So General Motors and Ford are using fast payment programs to help them out. They pay the suppliers up front instead of taking 40 to 60 days. But the suppliers have to pay a financing fee to a bank, and then the automaker pays the lender back in full at a later date. Not exactly a great deal for those suppliers, but it does keep them afloat. Now to Europe and Japan, where we're learning more about how Renault, Nissan, and Mitsubishi are trying to save their alliance. They're dividing up who will do what with product and where in the world. Nissan will take the lead in China, North America, and Japan, while Renault gets Europe, Russia, South America, and North Africa. Mitsubishi will take the lead in ASEAN and Oceanian countries. On product, Renault gets small CUVs, while Nissan gets mid-size CUVs and full-size SUVs. Renault gets vehicle development for electric cars, while Renault and Nissan split development of EV powertrains, with Renault taking small cars and Nissan taking bigger ones. Mitsubishi gets plug-in hybrids and will collaborate with Nissan on K cars, mainly for the Japanese market. There's a lot of reasons why this alliance is struggling, but here's our Autoline insight. The wheels started coming off the alliance when then CEO Carlos Ghosn ordered his executives to ramp up market share. Profitability went out the window as they larded on the incentives and pressured their dealers to move the metal. That is a recipe for disaster. We saw it happen around 2007 at Toyota when then President Katsuaki Watanabe set a goal of being the first automaker to sell 10 million vehicles in a year and make Toyota #1 in the world. Well, Toyota went on an expansion binge that led to all kinds of problems and a big drop in quality. Watanabe was later forced out of the company. That gave Martin Winterkorn, then the CEO of the Volkswagen Group, the idea that Volkswagen should be #1 in the world. And VW went on an expansion binge. He set crazy market share goals, including selling 1 million vehicles a year in the U.S. market by 2018. Of course, they never even came close to that. And I believe this mentality is what set the stage for the diesel emissions cheating scandal. So let that be a lesson to the top executives running the car companies. You get to be #1 by providing customers exceptional cars, value, and service, not by overproducing, piling on the incentives, or cheating. We've heard a lot about blue-collar workers going back to work in the plants, but what about the white-collar workers? Some GM salaried workers are already back at work at its tech center in Warren, Michigan, and it has a 4-phase plan to bring them all back. Phase 1 already started for employees who have to work on site, but they can still work from home for a limited number of hours during the week. Phase 2 allows more employees back into the office for a limited time each week. Phase 3 will allow those who can do the job remotely back into the office. And Phase 4 is normal resumption of operations. No timetable was given for these phases, and offices will have to be reconfigured to maintain social distancing. The UAW used to have a reputation as being a clean and honest union. Well, not anymore. Its past two presidents and a bunch of officers are going to jail for corruption, and now a number of other union execs are being sued for sexual harassment. A high-ranking female executive accused 3 union leaders of sexual harassment, saying they created a hostile working environment, failed to take corrective action, and cut her salary in half after she complained. Talk about being in the hot seat. Ford is really cranking up the heat in its fight against the coronavirus. It has a software update for 2013 through 2019 police interceptor utility vehicles that allows the interior temperature to go over 133 degrees Fahrenheit, that's about 56 degrees Celsius, for 15 minutes. That will kill off viruses by greater than 99% on interior surfaces and materials. Depending on the model year, the software can be activated by pressing the cruise control buttons in a specific order or using a scan tool through the diagnostic port. Once activated, the engine goes to an elevated level and the heat and fan settings automatically turn to high. The software monitors the interior until it hits the right temperature, then holds it there for 15 minutes. Lamborghini is taking one of the most powerful cars it ever built and turning it into one of the least powerful. Lambo teamed up with Lego Technic to make a 1/8 scale model of the Sian FKP37. That car made its debut at the Frankfurt Auto Show last year and boasts a hybrid V12 powertrain that has a combined 819 horsepower. The Lego car has an impressive 3,396 pieces and also has a replica of that V12. It even has an adjustable rear spoiler, scissor doors, and a fully functioning 8-speed sequential gearbox. And you can buy one of these kits starting in June.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone Tires. Your journey, our passion.
The Mustang Mach-E isn't in production yet, but Ford is already training technicians on how to service the EV. It's able to do so thanks to virtual reality technology from Pixo VR, a small software startup. Sean Hurwitz, the CEO of Pixo, explains how Ford is using its technology to train techs.
We are working with Bosch, and Bosch is helping us integrate it in with Ford. You know, Pixo is a 10-year-old company. We started out in developing virtual reality content, quickly realizing the value of immersing someone in such an interactive experience like technicians or mechanics. And just by putting on the headset, you could really save time, money, and even lives when you're simulating very dangerous concepts or training. So we have also launched a cloud-based platform that allows the users to access, distribute, and manage this content. If you think of Bosch and you think of Ford and how many technicians or how many users and how many training centers and how many dealers globally, then you also need something to access and manage that content as well.
You ought to be in pictures. That's what Sony told Hyundai, so they decided to team up. Sony's going to start using Hyundai's newest vehicles and technologies in a number of movies, starting with Uncharted, which comes out in July of next year. Hyundai will also offer cross-marketing support, and they'll both collaborate on a wide range of content creation. We've seen all kinds of e-racing going on, Indy cars, Formula One cars, NASCAR, and now endurance cars. With the 24 hours of Le Mans postponed until September, they're going to do a virtual race on June 13th and 14th. 50 cars from both the GTE and LMP classes will start the race, and it includes simulated scenarios just like the real thing, like damage, technical issues, pit stops, day and night racing, and driver changes. Each team will have 4 drivers, but can have no more than 2 professional sim racers. There are some advantages to racing from the comfort of your home. As one driver put it, at least I'll be able to sleep in my own bed this time. And with that, we wrap up today's report. Thanks for watching.